Welcome to the Oaktree Institute podcast, the podcast designed to empower Muslim leaders through education and skill development.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Zawad from Oaktree Institute. In this episode of the podcast, we'll be playing a khutbah by Oaktree's Executive Director, Brother Rami Kawas, on how we can be more ambitious with our life. We hope you enjoy this episode.
إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده سبحانه نستعين به ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ونبيه ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. We begin as we do every blessed Friday, every amazing, beautiful Friday, by praising Allah the Most High, the most exalted, the most honorable, the most merciful, the most beautiful, the most exalted, the most powerful, the most high. We testify to His oneness and His greatness, our Lord, the creator of everything we know and everything we don't. And we testify to the prophethood of the human being that He chose to lead all of humanity until the end of time, Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, the son of Abdul Muttalib. We ask Allah to bless Prophet Muhammad, to bless our leader and teacher and role model in this life, and to bless all those who follow in His guidance and His teachings and His wisdom until the end of time. Ameen. Allahumma ameen. Today I wanted to speak to you all about an important topic that maybe you haven't heard a lot about. But I'll start by speaking about it by the way the Prophet ﷺ taught us to speak about it. So the Prophet ﷺ said, Inna fil jannah mi'atu daraja. In heaven, paradise, Jannah, is 100 levels, or 100 different floors, or 100 different stations. 100. Ma bayna darajain, the distance between one floor, one level, and the next level is the distance between us and the furthest star. Ma bayna darajain, ma bayna samawati wal ard. The distance of one floor. It's not like an elevator. It's like an entire universe. This is between us and the highest level of the universe. So the point is, the Jannah is so big, it's so amazing, it's so wide. There's so much to it. Billions of people will be in it. Amazing things will be going on there. And it is the size of much, obviously, one level is the size of our universe. One floor. So it has 100 floors. Now the question is, what level will you live on? What level will I live on? And how do we expect that? How do we choose that level? So the Prophet ﷺ says, فَإِذَا سَأَلْتُمُ اللَّهِ. So if you ever ask Allah about Jannah, and you want to ask about what level, you want to ask Him, beg Him, wish, ask, make dua to Him, what level will I get? The Prophet ﷺ said, فَاسْأَلُوهُ الْفِرْدَوْسِ الْأَعْلَى مِنَ الْجَنَّةِ. So you only ask for the highest part, this place called Al-Firdaus, that's in the upper part, the higher part. فَإِنَّهُ وَسَطُ الْجَنَّةِ. Because it is from the middle, إِلَىٰ أَعْلَى الْجَنَّةِ, until the top of paradise, and right above it, وَفَوْقَهُ عَرْشُ الرَّحْمَنِ, and above it is nothing except Allah's throne. So the Prophet ﷺ tells us about a very important concept that whenever even we ask for Jannah, that we don't just ask for, like, oh, Ya Allah, please smuggle me through the gate of Jannah. I'll live under a garbage can, I don't care. Ya Allah, I'll live in a one-bedroom studio in Jannah, that's okay. That's not how the Prophet ﷺ taught us. He taught us to ask for more, to think about more, to be more, the word for today, is to be more ambitious. To think about being and doing something much more than you, outside of your realm. Now, there's a difference between being ambitious and wishful thinking. Wishful thinking means like, yeah, I'm going to be rich. I do nothing about it. That's not what the Prophet told us. He said, you ask for the highest part of Jannah, and then the idea is then to work for the highest part of Jannah. They always go hand in hand. First, it's the high, ambitious dream, and then it's the work that backs it up. Let me give you all another story. One time, this concept, what should we be? Why should I be ambitious? when it comes to an old person, usually we think ambitious for young people, like, oh, I'm trying to be really ambitious. I'm thinking about doing great things. So then the Prophet ﷺ asked the companions one day, all of you are failing to be as ambitious as an old woman from Bani Israel. So the companions said, wait a minute, we thought we're really ambitious. We're trying to always think about more, higher goals, higher achievements. We're always trying to be like that. What kind of old woman can be more ambitious than us? So he tells them about a story about an old woman that none of them are like. So this old woman, she lived at the time of Musa alayhi salam. And at that time, when he went back to Egypt to free Bani Israel, his people, from the slavery of Fir'aun. So when Allah told him, okay, it's time for you all to leave Egypt, and he had to gather thousands of people to run away, at that time, the scholars of Bani Israel, they said, Ya Musa, we cannot leave until we take the body of Prophet Yusuf. Prophet Yusuf lived in Egypt, and he was buried in Egypt. So they had to take his body back to Palestine. So that's what the scripture told them. That's what they were told. That's what the scholars of Bani Israel said. So Musa is like, okay, where's the body of Yusuf alayhi salam? So obviously, then they're looking for the body. They're going around like looking for who knows the grave site of Prophet Yusuf. This hadith is a beautiful hadith in Bukhari. And then finally, Musa asked one person to another, to another, to another, till he gets to the house of an old woman. Really old woman, very old. She lives by herself. And then Prophet Musa was big and strong and tall. He's like, okay, old woman, can you please tell me where the graveyard is, the gravesite of Prophet Yusuf is? Because we need to leave. We need to get his body and leave. So then the old woman says, no, I'm not going to tell you. And then Musa's like, what do you mean? We got to, Pharaoh's going to kill us. He's sending his army. We got to run away. Let's go. You got to tell me. And she's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. And he's like, insistent, why? Tell me why. She says, because you have to promise me something. Remember, she's an old woman. We don't know her name. We don't know anything about her. But she was so ambitious. She said, I will tell you where Prophet Yusuf's body is if you promise me that I will be your neighbor in paradise. So all the prophets, of course, are in the highest level of Jannah. And she wants to be his next door neighbor. She's like, I'm not going to tell you until you promise me that. So he's like, excuse me, how can I promise you that? So Angel Jibreel comes down and he tells Prophet Musa, Ya Musa, Allah has granted her wish of being next to you in paradise. So tell her that her prayers have been answered. Her ambitious prayer, this really ambitious prayer, that it was answered, granted to her. So Musa is like, Allah said, okay. Now can you tell me? And she told him, and then they ran away. The idea is that how ambitious you are. How much do you dream of something bigger than you? Gaining something much bigger than you? Are you ambitious towards it? Do you have this mindset of being ambitious? Because all the companions learned at a young age to be ambitious. And I want to give you some of the examples. So you can be like, oh, these are prophets. Even though the old woman, we don't even know her name. But all the companions were very ambitious. I want to tell you some of their stories. There was a story of Abu Bakr one day when he heard Jannah has how many gates? Jannah has 8 gates. 7 is the other place you don't want to go. 8 gates of Jannah. Now, if you think about each gate, again, Jannah is really big. The gates are huge gates, right? So each gate, people go into Jannah because of something special that they did. Now, you have to find out what that special thing is in you. Helping people, learning, salah, every gate, fasting, right? Or holding yourself back and being able to fast. Every gate, 8 gates, they each are for something special. Now, everybody thinks about going through one of the gates. You think like, okay, it's a door. I want to go in through the door. Please let me in. Abu Bakr heard about the 8 gates. Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him. He heard about the 8 gates. And he didn't say, okay, please, one gate, sneak me in. I'll skip the line. Abu Bakr said, Ya Rasulullah, can anyone go into Jannah through all 8 gates? Now you'd be like, hold on, that doesn't make any sense. How can somebody go into a gate 8, is it 8 different times? No, he thought of it as can my body split up, because it's Jannah, right? Can my body split up into like 8 pieces and they all go in through different gates? Or he thought of, can I do so much good that I deserve to go through, I guess you've heard of all the different words, but the idea was that he didn't say, take me to Jannah. He didn't say, oh yes, please, inshallah, maybe I'll make it there. He was so ambitious that he wanted to go in through all 8 gates. There's so many stories of companions being so ambitious, trying to do so much. And of course, when it comes to Jannah, we think of like, wow, I just want to go to Jannah. I just want to go to the highest. But you have to think about, okay, what is it that you've done here that allows you to go there? That's the second part of this discussion. Because we learn also that you can ask for the highest levels of Jannah. You can want it. But then, like I mentioned, you have to do stuff that is deserving of it. Now I'll give you some examples of that. Were there times that the companions asked to be like really influential and really successful and really ambitious in this life? Everything is about Jannah. Well, yes. So first example I want to give you is the example of Sulaiman alayhi salam. Prophet Sulaiman made one of the most amazing du'as that you'll ever hear. It's not about Jannah. Even though he was ambitious. He wanted Jannah, and the prophets and great people get the highest parts of Jannah. But Prophet Sulaiman said, Ya Allah. He thought a little bit more strategically. He's like, Ya Allah, habli mulkan la yanbaghi li ahadin min ba'di. One of his du'as, his constant du'as to Allah was, Ya Allah, I want a kingdom. Like I want might and strength and power. And I want a kingdom, the likes of which no human in history after me will ever have. That's Sulaiman alayhi salam's dua. By the way, we don't know too much about Prophet Sulaiman, unfortunately, or as he's called in the Bible, King Solomon. But King Solomon, or Prophet Sulaiman, was one of the most, history today is so different, but the most powerful empire in the history of humanity was run by Prophet Sulaiman. And of course, lots of wealth and lots of power. And of course, very just and noble. So understanding ambition, how ambitious am I? Am I dreaming of something big? Do I think about achieving great things, doing great things in this life and in the next? Do I have the muscle of ambition? Have I built it up? Am I done it a lot? And it's only a muscle. So I want to think about, okay, what are the 3 ways that you can build ambition? How do I become more ambitious? How do I think like this? The first thing is to have a dream or a vision for yourself. What is it that you want to accomplish? What is the amazing things, amazing accomplishments that you want to do? And look at how vivid they had it. Umar alayhi salam in this dunya, he said, Ya Allah, he always made the dua, Ya Allah, I want to die shaheed in Medina. And at the time of Umar, there was not any fight, there was no turmoil, there was no fighting in Medina. Like how would he die shaheed in Medina? It was almost like impossible. There was, on the outskirts was all the fighting and wars. It wasn't in Medina. And a shaheed means a martyr. Like he wants to die defending his state. He wants to die, defending people or in honor of people or in honor of the state, in honor of Allah. So the companions said, Ya ibn Umar, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, oh Umar. That's such a weird dua. Like, you can't die shaheed in Medina, man. It's like, it's cool here. It's calm. Everything is cool. So then, Umar, when he dies, he was praying Fajr, and it was really dark, and a man stabs and kills him in the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, and he dies because of that. And then the companion is like, wow, he always had that vision. He always made dua for Allah for that ambitious dream. He had an ambitious dream. It didn't make sense to everybody else, but to Umar it made so much sense, and he kept asking Allah for it. And then finally, Allah gave it to him in a way that nobody ever had thought about. Allah Azza wa Jalla can make your vision or your dream come true, but you have to have the vision or dream. You have to have that ambitious goal. You have to think about, what more do I want? Second, after you have a vision, you have to work really hard towards that vision. It's one thing to say, like I wanted to work, I dream of this, I dream of that. Everybody's dreaming. And then you get a slap in the face and you wake up and you're like, okay, I'm done dreaming. I'm up now. But the thing about, how do I work every day towards that dream? What do I do? And one of the things I want you to think about is how to be consistent in doing things all the time. A lot of times people think of like ambitious things, like you have to do a lot of hard work, whether it's in this life or the next, whether it's in deen or in anything else in dunya. Both are important. We think, oh, I just want a company. I just want to go to Jannah. I just want it. But then you don't see the consistent hard work that's put in. It's not about the dream anymore, because then you got to translate that into little steps. What do I need to do consistently to get there? Everybody's successful, no matter what they do. I don't care if it's the CEO of Apple, or if it's a person that has an amazing whatever it might be, amazing social media account. I don't care, whatever it is. If it's LeBron that has an amazing jump shot, they work on it every single day consistently. Every single day is hard work, and they do it all the time, and it's very, very consistent. The Prophet ﷺ said, أَحَبُّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَّهِ, the best and most loved deeds to Allah are those that are consistent, even if they're very small, because a mountain is made of very, very small rocks. That's all it's made of. And every small rock counts. And every deed that's small and consistent, I'd rather you do them small and consistently every day, and then that will lead you to success. So the question then becomes, what do you do every day that's consistent? What do you do every day? And then you do the same good thing every day consistently. And then you do that same good thing consistently every day with an ambitious goal in mind. Those are the ways that we think about Jannah and this life and what we're doing in this life, but it's also the ways that we think about our own goals and what we want to achieve and how we want to get there. That's a great way to build ambition. The last thing I'll talk about, inshallah ta'ala, and I'll conclude this first half of the khutbah, is then you need people around you to help you. And you have to think about, how do I find people around me that are actually going to help me get to my vision or dream? How am I going to do that? How am I going to find them? And it might not be, well, they're really nice friends to hang out with, and that's cool. Or I like to play with them, that's nice. But you have to think a little bit more about, maybe as a young person, like I used to do, when I was young, I used to like to hang out with older people. Because I thought, all these kids are playing, and there's like, all these games and stuff. But maybe I can listen to, college students and hear a little bit more about what they are learning about life. When I was in college, I always listened to older kids. And I learned that, hey, they're working and they're in careers, and I wonder what they're thinking about, how they see the world. You always got to think about who's going to help you gain that future, gain that ambition. What's your support system? What's your team? What team is around you? If your team is not helping you achieve the goal or win a championship, in this case, be really ambitious and get to the highest parts of Jannah, if they're not helping you, then maybe you should find another team. Or maybe you should talk to your team and figure out how you can all be playing towards that goal. The idea is that people around you are going to help you. And no matter what, they'll help you and support you. But if you have it within you that you want that, then Allah will always bring the right people to you that will help you and support you in that vision and dream. Inshallah ta'ala, I'll summarize this in a story in the second part of the khutbah. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. Make istighfar for 1 minute while I sit down. استغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروا إنه الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله نشهد أن لا إله إلا الله نشهد أن محمد رسول الله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Be ambitious. That's the lesson of the khutbah today. I want everybody in here to think about how they can be ambitious. Think of something that you dream about, something that you want to accomplish. Think about what I can do every day that's going to help me get there. And think about, how do I get people around me, whether they're friends or people that I might learn from, that can help me get to that dream or that ambitious goal. That's everything that I want to just get across today. 3 things. And one of the best stories that I've heard that summarizes all 3 of these things is the story of a man named Muhammad bin Mansur, who lived in ancient Spain, or Muslim Spain. Once upon a time, the Muslim civilization ruled what we know today, Spain and Portugal, that area. And the capital was the city of Cordoba. And this young man, he was like maybe 18, 19, 20 years old. This young man, he was growing up in that city. And you know what he was doing as a living? He was a donkey man. Let me explain what a donkey man is. A donkey man is a man that has a donkey and sells fruits and vegetables on it. So there was no like ShopRite back then or Costco. What happened was that somebody would have a donkey, they would put fruits and vegetables on it, and they would walk through the streets and sell fruits and vegetables to people, okay? So that was his job. That's what he did. And all his friends did that, right? Everybody around him did that. So one day he was hanging out with his friends, and he's like, guys, is this life? Is this how ambitious we are? We're just doing this? It's a fine job. I mean, we're not putting it down, but he was a little bit more ambitious. He wanted a little bit more. So he said, guys, I've been thinking about, I want to be the Khalifa of Al-Andalus one day, which means like I want to be the president of this country, okay? So his friends, the first thing they did was, they laughed. Ha 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 ha. Muhammad, come on, man. What are you doing? You're a donkey man. Look at you. We're all donkey men here. You can't be the Khalifa of... How can you be the Khalifa? You're just a normal person. So then he's like, no. Listen, I have an ambitious dream. I'm dreaming that I'm going to be the Khalifa of Al-Andalus. I guarantee you that it will happen. I'm going to work hard towards it. But if I became the Khalifa, what would you want from me? Like, let's say I'm the Khalifa now. What would you want? What would you wish from me? So his friend said, okay, we'll play your game. His first friend said, all right, listen, if you became the Khalifa, I want you to give me a stable of horses, which nowadays translates to like a garage full of Lamborghinis and Ferraris, okay? Like just full of it. So he's like, okay, great, thank you, horses, got it, good. Second one, what do you want? He's like, listen, man, if you became the Khalifa, I want acres of farmland, which translates into a massive business, right? Like a Walmart, right? Imagine you owned Walmart. That's what acres of farmland meant back then, right? Massive business. So his second one was like, okay, got it, good, I got it. All right, third one, what do you want? He's like, listen, Muhammad, if you became the Khalifa, I want you to tie me up, tie my hands down, put me on this donkey, push me in the streets, and I will tell the people, how dumb are you people for having Muhammad as your Khalifa? That's what I'm going to do. That's what I want you to do to me. So he's like, okay. Muhammad left the donkey business, and he went and he started to work hard. What he did was that he became a police officer. He worked hard every day as a police officer. Then he became a lieutenant. Then he became a sergeant. Then he became eventually the defense minister of Qurtuba. Then eventually he became the defense minister, working hard every day, putting in a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of days you didn't see, a lot of hard work you didn't see. He put in a lot of hours of just being the best that he could be, a lot of hard work, until he eventually became the defense minister, which is like the second in command to the Khalifa in all of Muslim Spain, all of that area, all of Al-Andalus. So then the Khalifa died. That's a long story, but anyway, Muhammad became the Khalifa. There was a vacancy in power, and he took it because the army was behind him, and he became the Khalifa. What he did eventually was that he went back to, you go back to the hood, right? Go back to where your friends were, go back to where everybody was, you go back to reminisce about old days, and then all of a sudden he bumps into his 3 friends. Guess what? They were doing the same exact things. Like nothing changed in the 30 years. They were sitting in the same place, they were doing the same things. So he goes up to them and he says, hey guys, what's going on? They're like, oh my God, Muhammad, selfie please, right? Nothing. So then eventually they said, Muhammad's like, hey, you all remember that I said that I had this dream of being the Khalifa, right? And I worked really hard. Like I found a network that supports us. He found people around him that can get him to that place. Because people that are putting you down, you don't need them around you. He found new people that are going to show him the path. And then he's back here. And then now they're like, hey, do you remember what you asked for? So the first one said, yeah. I said, please give me a stable of horses. He's like, guards, give him a stable of horses. Second friend, he's like, hey, you remember? He's like, yeah. I said, give me acres of farmland. He's like, guards, give him acres of farmlands. The third guy, he's like, you remember? He's like, no, man, I don't remember. That was such a long time ago. I don't remember that. He's like, no. You remember what you told me. Tell me what you told me. And he said, Muhammad, I was dumb. I said, like, if you became Khalifa, put me on a donkey, push me in the streets, have the people throw vegetables at me, and I'll tell them, how dumb are you people? I didn't mean that. I really believed in you. I knew you were going to do it. And he's like, guards, take him, tie him up, put him on his donkey, and tell the people, إِنَّ اللَّهَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Tell the people that Allah can do, with His infinite wisdom and His infinite might, can do whatever He wants, to anyone He wants, at any time that He wants. And prove to them this miracle. Show them that this is a miracle. Like this is like an amazing thing. The lesson being, be ambitious. Think about what more do you want in your life, in your future, to achieve, to succeed in this life and for the next life. Then second, work hard consistently every day. Very consistent, hard work. And then the third thing, whatever that might be, it might be in learning, it might be in helping people, it might be being good to your parents, it might be in studying, it might be in how you support people, whatever it is that you do consistently. To achieve whatever you want to achieve, you have to do it every day. And then the last thing is, find the right people to support you. Find and think about your friends, or think about how we as friends can help one another. What do we dream about? What do we think about? What do we hope for? What do we want to achieve? How can we be more ambitious? Those are really, really good friends to have. I hope and pray that we can be more ambitious, that we can learn from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ in being ambitious and working hard for our achievements and achieving them in this life and in the next. And we ask and pray to Allah Azza wa Jalla to allow us and to give us the strength and the abilities to do amazing things for Him. If you all can make dua, please. Ya Allah, we ask you to guide us towards the right path. Ya Allah, we ask you to allow us to reach the highest levels of Jannah. Ya Allah, we ask you for the highest levels of Al-Firdaus Al-A'la min Al-Jannah. We ask Allah, Ya Allah, to allow us to give us the ability and the actions in this life that allow us to deserve the highest levels of Jannah. Ya Allah, we ask you to bring people around us that will help us in being close to you and achieving greatness and amazing things for you. And our final dua is, Ya Allah, forgive us of our sins and our shortcomings or any mistakes that we've done, so that we can constantly be on a path to you. And our final dua, our last dua, is Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Inna Allah ya'mur bil adli wal ihsan wa ita'i dhil qurba wa yanha 'anil fahsha'i wal munkari wal baghi ya'idukum la'allakum tadhakkarun. Adhkurullaha yadhkurkum washkuruhu wa la takfuruhu. Inshallah, y'all can stand up and we'll make a qamah for salah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Oaktree Institute podcast. For more episodes, subscribe and follow us on Apple, Google Play, and Spotify. And for other content that we have, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.